Hi guys, I am Tuesday, better known as Sharon from the Book Barbies, and welcome to our first official Lit Ladies. And last time we had intro, but today we're actually going to do a real topic, so I'm really excited to start that. This week we're going to be talking about our favorite couples in books, and anytime I think favorite couple, anytime I hear that phrase, I automatically go to two things. I don't know why, but maybe it's just me. I go to classics and I go to ship wars, like the triangles and which couples I prefer there. So a lot of mine have to do with both of those things, but really I just kind of picked an assortment of couples. I did limit it only to books that I own so I could hold them up as I was going, and really it just made my job a lot easier. First up, some classics. Of course, Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice. I don't care if it's the book, miniseries, movie, I will always love this story because, I mean, it's a classic for a reason and everyone loves Mr. Darcy for a reason. But I just like how they go from the animosity to the amazing romance. And yeah, they had their bumps along the way. They're just a great couple, and they're just a great example of things you have to overcome in order to have a good and trusting relationship. So I really like them because of that, and a myriad other reasons, but I don't have all day. Next up, we have Margaret and Mr. Thornton from North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. Also worth mentioning is the BBC miniseries with Richard Armitage because, oh the swoons, oh the swoons. Anyway, this one is kind of Pride and Prejudice-esque with the different worlds colliding and just a really great, strong romance. Next, we have Benedick and Beatrice from Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare. And, okay, yes, it's a play, not a book. Sue me, whatever. I freaking love them, and they have some of the best banter ever. And just by the end, you totally believe them, because they have their flaws, they're totally flawed characters, and they know that about each other, and they totally fall in love anyway, and it is fantastic. So step aside Romeo and Juliet, Benedick and Beatrice, where it's at. Although, I mean, I do love other Shakespeare couples, like Catherine and Petruchio. It's one of my favorites too, but I have a soft spot for Benedick and Beatrice. Next up, we have Stephanie and Ranger from the Stephanie Plum series by Janet Ivanovich. And also, I should mention, whenever I mention series or trilogies or something, I've just kind of picked random books because I don't always own the first book in this series, and I just picked whichever one I felt like. I think I picked the first one, I own all of them, I don't know. Anyway, but this one was actually the first one I read because I had no idea it was a series, and I totally and completely fell in love with them. They just totally rock. That's really it. It's the totally crazy, out of control girl and the totally, completely alpha, very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. A hero who doesn't talk a lot, and it's also a triangle of sorts. So you can either be Morelli or Ranger, and I am totally a Ranger girl. Or a babe. That's what we're called. Next up, we have Snee and Adrian from the Bloodline series. Oh, I just love how they go from, like, she's completely disliking him just on principle of the fact that, yeah, he's a vampire, so, and she's an alchemist. Obviously, she has to hate him. Regardless, it's preconceptions and defeating those preconceptions on the way to being a magnificent couple. Next, we have Juliet and Warner from Shatter Me trilogy. I just really love them, and yes, obviously this one is not the best one to showcase that, but it just shows how multifaceted their relationship is. There's a reason that I picked that side of the triangle, and they fascinate me, and they intrigue me, and I love them. So, and yeah, what else is there? Next, we have Clara and Tucker from the Unearthly trilogy by Cynthia Hand. And, oh my gosh, Tucker, like, I love the nice guy. The nice guy Like, forget the swooning, tall, dark, brooding main guy that you're supposed to love, okay? He's such a nice guy, and there is a little bit of that tension, that animosity between them whenever they first meet and everything because of circumstances. But they're just real. Like, they're just a good, real, solid couple, and I love that. I love that I completely believe that they could be together forever. I know some people root for Christian, and Christian's great, but I'm a Tucker girl all the way. Next, we have Michael and Mia from the Princess Diaries series by Meg Cabot, and I have loved them for a very, very long time. I wrote fan fiction about them like 10 years ago. I love the movie. I love them in the book. They're just, Michael is just another one of those examples of the really, really nice guys that I absolutely love. And I just love that she's had a crush on him forever, and it's got the best friend's older brother trope, and they are just great. Just makes me really happy. And I love it when couples make me happy. Next, we have Clark and Marty from Love Comes Softly by Jeanette Oke. Really, I love all the books in this series and pretty much all of the canon couples, but this one is, obviously the most well-known since the Hallmark movie came out, and yeah, they continue to make them, but we don't discuss those because no, all wrong. So anyway, getting back on track, this one, it's got the marriage of convenience, and I just love that that's one of my favorite tropes for a reason, and it just shows that love can develop even when you're not looking for it, but I actually, I see it. I believe it so much more whenever it's slow in developing. But you get to know the other person, and it grows from that. And that's what happens in marriage of convenience tropes a lot of the time. And this is no exception, and it's an absolutely great, a great example. And then last but not least, we have Genevieve and Alex from What I Did for a Duke by Julianne Long, because really I can't not mention a Julianne Long couple on here, even though Raquel mentioned all of hers yesterday. But this was my first of Julianne Long's books, and there's a reason that it made me fall in love with her books. They have snappy dialogue. I love that they're an example that age doesn't matter, that age isn't a hindrance to real love, because he's quite a bit older than she is, but that doesn't matter because it's your personality and who you are and all kinds of other things. And I just think that they're a really good example of that, and I think that they would have a very, very strong relationship, and they do have a strong relationship, and not to mention they are totally and completely swoony, as are all of these 10 couples that I've named today. So that is pretty much all I have for you today. Of course, there are lots of possibilities, lots of other couples that I love, but those are the 10 that I chose to highlight today. If you have any that you think are totally awesome and you would like to share, please leave them in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.